How to begin memorizing Scripture. Great. You've been convinced that memorizing Scripture is important and something you want to start doing. Now it's time to put feet to those goals. This vlog will look at common obstacles to avoid, good starting places, and tools to help you get going. There are two main kinds of people who start projects like this. Those who start with very little planning or goals, and those who cannot get past the planning stage to actually get started. It's a good idea to avoid both pitfalls. If you really want to make Bible memorization a long-term part of your life, it's good to take some time first to set some goals and plan how you want to accomplish them. This will set you up on the path for long-term success. On the other hand, if you're watching this video, you may well be in your 5th day of planning how to get started rather than just getting started. Your plans and methods don't have to be perfect. You can adjust as you go, make a plan, and start. Another obstacle people have is that they think Bible memorization means they must be like those people that can recite the entire book of Romans by memory. If that's your goal, great. Get after it. But it's perfectly fine to have much more modest goals. If you spend time each week memorizing Scripture and never memorize an entire book, you will still benefit greatly and be blessed in the efforts. If you are just getting started, it's good to have a goal in mind. Ask yourself, why do I want to memorize Scripture? If it's to impress others with your spirituality, well, you probably already see the problem with that. And such a motivation isn't likely to last. If it's because you think it's what a good Christian is supposed to do, well, you may be right, but that motivation can be legalistic and won't likely last either. If your reasons have to do with wanting to know the Bible better, wanting to know God more, or wanting to combat sin better in your life, then you are on the right track. Take a moment to write down why you are memorizing Scripture. Put it somewhere you'll see it often, maybe in a wallet, a purse, or on your refrigerator. By reminding yourself periodically of the good reasons you have for memorizing the Bible, you'll be more likely to stick with it on the days you don't really feel like it. Next, it's a good idea to write down your goal. Maybe your goal is to memorize the book of Romans. Maybe it's to memorize 4 verses this month. Either is a fine goal, but I think there's an even better way of framing your goals to be successful. Goals defined in terms of your process tend to be more dependable. For example, your goal might be to spend 10 minutes every weekday memorizing and reviewing memorized Scripture. Or your goal might be to spend 5 minutes in the morning memorizing Scripture and 5 minutes in the afternoon reviewing previously memorized verses. Mark every day you succeed on a calendar. You'll be surprised how much you are motivated to keep your streak going. By defining your goals in terms of what you do instead of an end goal, you succeed every day at your goal and so gain motivation to keep going. Write down your goal and put it someplace you will see it often. You aren't actually looking to reach a destination, but you're creating a godly habit that you can stick with for the rest of your life. Remember the reasons you started wanting to memorize in the first place. Ask others to join you in the effort, or at least ask you about how you are progressing in your goals. Did you succeed 4 days out of 5 this week? Great! Go for 5 out of 5 next week. Was it a crazy week and you only spent 1 day working on your verses? Forget those things which are behind and press toward the mark of the high calling of Christ. Start a new streak this week and don't look back. Over time, you will find it becomes so habitual that you hardly need these tools to motivate and correct you. But in the beginning, you will benefit from every scrap of help you can get. And as you see yourself using the verses you memorized in your everyday life, you will become all the more motivated to learn even more. Next week, I'll present some tools to help you in your memorization process, along with some tips on how to use them.